Welcome to the Pickleball Recovery Podcast, where we highlight products and practices to help you feel better faster, so you can spend less time stiff, sore, and injured, and more time on the court doing what you love. This podcast is sponsored by AlloMD. Don't just mask pain, eliminate it. AlloMD provides intense relief and advances continual repair for both acute injuries and chronic pain. All-natural, patented technology developed by doctors to get you back in the game fast without the use of opioids, steroids, or NSAIDs. AlloMD, harnessing the power of pure natural ingredients that provide deep, penetrating repair. Patented, validated, natural. Learn more at www.allomd.com and make sure to use the discount code PBR at checkout to save $5 off your order. What's up? Welcome to another episode of Pickleball Recovery. I'm your host, Tim Ringgold. Hey, listen, if you are watching this on YouTube, do me a favor and smash that like button. I can't believe I just said smash that like button, but maybe hit the like button, click on the like button, whatever. Would you do that for me? And subscribe if you haven't already. That would be awesome. I'm supposed to say these things at the beginning of my videos, so now I have. Hey, all right. I'm excited you're here. I am excited about our guest today. This is a guy who I've been following since pretty much for the last 2 years as a senior pro, kind of like looking up to him like an upperclassman. So it was really great to finally sit down with him at, where were we? I think we were in Cincinnati, at PPA Cincinnati, and kind of talking about, how did Mircea Morariu end up such a stud? What's the story? So we are going to jump into his world and find out how he stays so fit and looks so good and keeps playing so competitively. And one of the great things is just listen, success leaves clues, right? So let's just listen to what other people do well and model that. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, people. And so sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, and I'll see you on the other side. Mircea, welcome to Pickleball Recovery.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I appreciate it, Tim.
I appreciate that very much. It's been a long time coming because we've been chatting back and forth on, comment threads and Facebook for a long time. But really never had a chance to hang out and just chat. And
it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. So here we are. We're in blustery Cincinnati.
Yes, the fall is upon us.
The fall is upon us. I live in Southern California. You're in Florida. This is like it's a little chilly right now for my 5W30 motor oil blood.
Hey, when it gets less than 70, we got to put a sweatshirt on.
Yes,
so.
that's exactly how I feel.
Yep.
I was like, okay, I'm going to need layers today. So we are here at the PPA Baird Wealth Management Open and playing some senior pro. Played doubles yesterday, and I want to know from your background. I'm gonna kind of quiz you on a couple things today. A little bit of a biography, because there's kind of two roads that I see you being able to add value to all of our listeners today. One is as a professional pickleball player. One is as a professional physician, and that you kind of see the world through two lenses, and I think that's going to help people out. Would you start out just briefly, kind of tell people your pickleball story? Where'd you find it? How long you been in it?
Okay.
What got you hooked?
I've been in here for about 3.5 years. I was playing, I grew up playing tennis, played tennis in college, and played some satellites afterward, and then started medical school. So eventually found squash and played squash for almost 30 years roughly.
Okay.
And then some of the players that I played with, there's a big emphasis on, you just have to be fit and quick and be able to run for for long periods of time in squash, and if you're not healthy, you can't really play well.
Got it.
So you can have all the racket skills you want, but if you can't run to get the ball in squash, then you're toast, because it's a soft ball and it dies pretty quickly.
Gotcha.
So the people that I was playing with kind of eventually got hurt, and so one day just kind of heard about pickleball, walked out and to Delray Beach Tennis Center and met a bunch of really nice, welcoming people, as we all know the community, the pickleball community is.
Yep.
And happened to meet Julie Johnson and her son JW, and he was the only one that played singles that day, and so singles is obviously the easiest transition from other, racket/paddle sports.
You met them on your first day?
Correct.
No
correct.
way.
The first day.
Day one.
Correct.
You run into the Johnson family.
Correct.
And the rest is history, ladies and gentlemen.
Kind of. So anyway, 3-4 weeks later, I kind of asked Julie to play a local money tournament with me, and she, I think, reluctantly agreed. And, you know, we had fun. We started playing more. The kids started coming out more, and, you know, here we are.
Yeah.
So it's been a great journey so
Amazing.
far. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
Okay, that helps. There is such a paternal and family vibe that I see that you exude with the Johnsons.
Oh, thank you.
And they are your pickleball. You guys are Pickleball Family.
Yeah, they are. I mean,
it makes total sense now.
Yeah, Jack, Julie, you know.
Yeah, the love is there.
And then the kids are just great kids. So
that's awesome.
I've been, you know, honored to be, you know, part of their world. And, you know, now it's even more of an honor and a privilege to get to coach the kids and hopefully, you know, I think they're, you know, I think the world of them and I think their talent is just waiting to be, you know, to taken off. So they've already, you know, taken off as it is, and I just think there's, you know, we got more to unlock. So I'm excited to see it develop.
That's really cool. Really cool. So starting in squash, you made the connection that when you move better, you play better.
Absolutely.
And what was your approach to, like, some of the basics that have kept you lean, fit, moving, injury-free to the degree that you could at least? I find that people know what to do, but they don't do what they know.
Yep.
And they need to hear that it's the basics over and over and over, and finally it beats into them that it's not a magic pill somewhere. It's these things. So what were the recipe for you? What are some of the practices that keep you looking so lean and moving so young?
Well, honestly, it's really looking at the mindset as a lifestyle and habits.
Yep.
And you have to find something you enjoy.
Yes.
And I used to always tell my patients this because I'm a huge believer in exercise.
Yeah.
It's been a part of my life ever since I was, you know, 5 years old. All right, I started playing tennis around 7, but just my family has always been into athletics and exercise, and it's just made a tremendous difference in my life in terms of my health, my enjoyment, you know, mood, everything. I mean, it affects everything. Even as a neurologist, there's evidence that physical exercise helps delay memory and cognitive impairment amongst a whole host of other things. So, you know, in my practice when I was seeing patients, so I had a lot of people that had neck and back pain, and spine issues, and it was, you know, inevitable that the very physics of it, the heavier they are, the more problems they have. The more orthopedic problems they have, the more spine problems they have. So the more, you know, the more weight you put on your spine and your joints, the more they break down. And at a younger age they break down. But it's not a matter of, you know, for me it's not a matter of, you know, maintaining, you know, being small or being thin. It's not that. Right. And I don't think that should be the goal. You know, I think the goal to be healthy. Find things you enjoy. Because if you, I always hear people, oh, I'm going to go on a diet, I'm going to start a new exercise program, and they do it for 2 or 3 months, maybe 6 months, but they don't stick to it because they don't look at it like a lifestyle. So, you know, that's why I loved playing squash. I did it every chance I could while I was working. You know, now I'm playing pickleball regularly, and that's my, you know, my life now. And so, but I love it. I enjoy it. So, you know, there's so many advantages to that. And so those are the biggest things. I mean, find something you enjoy. Enjoy it as you're doing it, and that will help you stick to it and enjoy the benefits of it.
It's almost like the health benefits become a byproduct of your enjoyment.
Correct.
And that's like, right? Because the process and the product are both thumbs up rather than I'm slogging through X to get to Y and then I'm going to stop.
Correct.
And then if there's no consistency, there's no results.
Correct. And when I say diet, I don't mean like restricting calories. I don't mean I just mean eating healthy. You know, and when people say, oh, I'm going to go on a diet, I'm going to restrict my calories to, you know, 1,200 a day. You know, yes, you can do that, but, you know, I mean, and obviously, you know, like, you know, high-level bodybuilding / fitness, you know, shows that, you know, they're really concentrating on every calorie, and you know, it's a little different. You're doing it for a specific profession, so that you know, I understand.
We're not,
but I'm talking for the general, you know, general person. you know, you just, it's not fun to basically, you know, count every single calorie.
No, it's not.
You know, I've never done it, so I can't imagine it would be.
No, it takes the flavor right out of the food.
Exactly.
Let me just tell you,
Exactly.
suddenly you're looking at numbers and it's like, what happened? This is not enjoyable.
Because I love to eat, and I love to eat frequently,
Yes.
and that's part of the reason I exercise, and
to help
so
with that.
often is because so I can enjoy, you know, aspects of my life. So
Absolutely.
other aspects of my life.
Absolutely. One of the words I love that you've been using regularly here is enjoy.
Absolutely.
And for me, when you're not enjoying something, it's work.
Correct.
When you're enjoying it, it's play.
Yep.
And that context, like, you can't wait to play more.
Yep.
But, like, who can't wait to work more?
Yep.
Like, that doesn't sound very much fun to me.
Yep.
And I refuse to grow up. I'll grow older, but I'm not growing up. I want to play as much as possible. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree, and I fell into the trap of, you know, I'm a workaholic. I mean, I was, and I still am, and, you know, I fall into the trap, and you know, it's something I got to continuously work on. But yeah, when I was working, like I told you, I was doing the equivalent of 2 full-time physician jobs for 20 plus years. So,
that became your rhythm.
It was,
Yep.
you know, and it was, you know, it was my issue, and now I have much more balance to my life.
That's good. Yes, and this isn't an intervention, so don't worry.
Hey, no worries, no worries. I'm just sharing.
Yeah. Any hot spots, any chronic problems that you've been struggling with along the way that's been a nuisance?
You know, I have to tell you that, knock on wood, I've had 2, what I would say major, and overall in the scheme of things, they're really not injuries. One is I tore my plantar fascia when I was playing squash.
Okay.
Roughly 15 years ago, and was out for a few months. And then when about 6 months after I started, 6 to 8 months after I started playing pickleball, I basically tore the. I was playing actually Anna Lee Waters singles, and I pushed off, and I thought someone shot me with a BB, and I panicked. I thought it was my Achilles, but it was actually a portion of my calf.
Gotcha.
That was the aponeurosis. Anyway,
that'll be on the quiz, everybody.
I thought it was actually you know, I thought I was gonna be out for a while. I went to an orthopedist and told me I was gonna have to wear a boot for a couple months, and but I did everything I could to recover sooner, and I was able to do so. And those are the only quote major injuries, knock on wood, I've had.
Nice.
So
well done.
I've always done multiple things throughout my kind of athletic career, starting in college. So in addition to playing tennis, you know, obviously do other fitness activities, working out at the gym. I do a lot of core and back work.
Tell me more about that.
So basically, I do kind of whole body workouts, but I focus on the core. A lot of people exercise the core as the last part of their fitness routine. I do it at the very beginning, or I do it throughout my workout routine.
Gotcha.
So if I work out, if I do, like one day I'll do, you know, I'll do chest and shoulders.
Yep.
I'll intersperse core throughout that.
Okay.
I'll do hanging raises. I'll basically do plank work.
Yes.
Do medicine ball work.
Yes.
You know, and I basically vary my exercises 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Great.
Whenever I do my exercises, like one day I'll do one thing, the next day I'll do something else. So I basically, you know, like one days I'll use, you know, dumbbells, and then, you know, I'll change it to something else. The next time I'll use kettlebells.
Yep.
So I kind of try to maintain some flexibility.
Good.
And basically work the muscles in different ways.
Yeah, keeps the body guessing.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So pushing it from different angles is always good. I love that you figured out, like, core, right, matters. Like, that literally, it's called the core for a reason, right? Everything else comes out from there. And one of the things I noticed coming from soccer to pickle, like, this is much more of a rotational sport.
Yep.
And I'm activating, you know, in concert, my shoulders and my hips in ways I never have.
Yep.
And they're, like, not, like, coordinated, I guess would be the right word. They're not used to it. And so I can see there's a learning curve even for my body. And I stayed active and physical and coming right into pickleball, and I'm still, like, working that out. And I think people, they get fooled by pickleball. Like, it looks really simple on the body.
Correct.
Right. And they forget that there's all this stuff going on, and that it's all starting in here.
Yep.
Right. And so you're putting out fires before they start by having a core routine.
Yeah.
of core exercises.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest keys of maintaining your spine health in terms, one of the most common conditions I saw was low back pain.
Yeah.
And it was either chronic low back pain as a result of narrowing of the spinal canal, disc problems, basically lack of use.
Sitting like this for 8-10 hours a day.
Exactly.
Or more.
Or people that were involved in motor vehicle accidents or other injuries.
Yep.
But over and over, the biggest key was what I pushed was really some sort of core exercise.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about sit-ups, but things that exercise your core, like planks.
Yeah.
Simple things.
Yeah.
And variations of planks. And, seeing a physical therapist where they give you the proper exercises.
Yep.
Obviously warm up, cool down.
Yep.
Those are the kinds of habits that I go back to that you need to develop in order to, maintain your good spine health. And knock on wood, I've never had a significant back issue. I had minor strains here and there, but, never anything serious.
Yeah, I used to work in orthopedic PT, and we had back school. It was a sports medicine clinic, and all it was core exercises, but it was called back school.
Right.
But all they did was work on the front and the sides the whole time, and everybody who would come in, they were just kind of confused by that, and they're like, no, the secret to supporting your back is developing your front and sides to help kind of lift that architecture and hold it where it's designed to be. And it took me hearing a professional say that before it made sense to me. To me, back school would be strengthen your back.
Right.
There must be something wrong with your back, not your front. But when you walk around and you see the sedentary lifestyle that most of us lead as professionals, this is just like collapsed, just out of habit. And it was interesting after working with a orthopedic, what would I call him? He's a sports medicine chiropractor. So it's like this fusion.
Uh-huh.
Like my posture now when I'm sitting, I'm 3 inches taller than I was the day I interviewed him because I was having low back pain. And he's like, yeah, you're just like collapsing all the parking garage is all shrunk.
Yeah.
And you got to lift that all back up. So you have to develop these muscles so they can just sit holding your structure in the right place.
Yep.
And I just, okay.
Yep.
All right, I got it. And I think people forget that there are more muscles in your core than your abs.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Well, I mean, they're all kind of included, but yeah, there are more muscles than your abs for sure. Like, the iliopsoas, which is basically the hip flexors.
Yeah.
They basically connect from your spine.
Yeah.
To your
From
legs,
the back all the way through to the front. That is a highly implicated, muscle group.
So they and they're the key.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the key.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Any kind of other hints, tips, tricks that you've either seen other pros do or you've incorporated that you can't live without?
That I've incorporated, ironically, and I was forced to do this when, as a kid, but when we grew up playing tennis, it was the kind of thing that you'd be playing for an hour to 2 hours, and your reward was getting a drink, getting water.
Okay.
Obviously that concept has completely changed now, and hydration is such a massive key to so many things.
Yeah.
So I had an undiagnosed kidney stone for when I was a kid.
Okay.
It's a long story, but
Sure.
anyway, long story short, I had an issue, and I was instructed that if you don't want this to recur, you need to drink quite a bit of water throughout the course of the day.
Got it.
So I got into the habit of drinking a ton of water.
Yes.
And I mean, if you see me around, I'm always carrying water, drinking water. I've
Yes.
always, since I was 14.
Got it.
So I committed to it. And I'm, I could just tell, if I haven't had water in every 15 minutes, I'm thirsty.
Yeah. Yep.
And, I don't go crazy with it.
Sure.
But it is a habit that I think has also maintained my health in the multiple activities that I've participated in over the course of the years.
Yep.
Help me, stay active, stay healthy, basically limit the injuries.
Yeah.
So, basically the more volume you have the more blood volume you have, the more that your muscles are getting fed, the more that the toxins are getting removed. So, the less tired you will be, the better you will feel.
Yep.
It's better for your skin. It's excuse me. It's better for your skin, better for your digestion.
Yeah, totally.
So, it doesn't have to be crazy electrolyte solutions, because most of the time we're just drinking water.
Yeah.
So, honestly, it's developing the habits of healthy nutrition,
Yep.
hydration, regular exercise with something that you enjoy.
Yes.
you know, adequate sleep, which I've had an issue with, not because, you know, I can sleep at any time, but from, you know, when a physician, when you're working, you know,
you guys,
sometimes you work 48 hours in a row, and it's just, you know,
terrifying.
3-4 days a week, and which I don't recommend for anyone.
No.
And that's changed,
Yes,
you know, but
it's
back in
getting
the day, you know, I was working 100 to 120 hours a week, and I was up taking care of, you know, critically ill patients, you know, 5 in the morning when I had not slept. When I got to the hospital at 5 in the morning the day before, and you know, running codes on people. I mean, it's just, it was not what I would recommend looking back. But you know, the other things that I've incorporated lately are cryotherapy, red light therapy, and also the compression, using the leg compressions, and there are also hip and arm compressions at the place that I go to. There's a place called iCryo in Boca.
They look like the hockey shorts, the ones that come up. I love those.
And so the leg compressions have made a big difference. I bring them to tournaments for the kids, and I'm competing less, but when I am competing, I'm also using those. So
I have seen Georgia many at a stop where Greg Dr. Greg's Air Relax booth. I've seen her, you know, suited up in between matches, compressing, squeezing out. You know,
I have them do it when, you know, as a warm up in the morning, then in the evening as well, or you know, when we get back. Ideally, obviously, if it's here, it's available. We can do it between matches. So it's made a difference. It improves recovery.
It does.
So
100%. Awesome. Well, Mircea, thanks for joining us on Pickleball Recovery.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks so much for listening. Did you know there's one place on the web for all your recovery needs? It's at www.pickleballrecovery.com. You'll find all the products I personally use and recommend, along with exclusive discounts on many of them, as well as my blog where I help you make sense out of all the different products and practices out there to keep you moving and feeling better so you play better. After all, your body is the most expensive piece of equipment you own. Also, do you want to know the #1 mistake picklers make that leads to increased pain, soreness, stiffness, and injury? Just head over to pickleballrecovery.com and download my free guide to playing with less pain and more enjoyment. Listen, pickleball makes us feel young at heart, but not young in body. So go download my free guide at www.pickleballrecovery.com. See you next time.